Okay, for the third time. I don't know what happened. I'm not going to blame it on anybody. It's just really interesting that today's topic caused my video to just stop on its own. So if you're out there and you have questions, I think I'm on interactive now. So go ahead and post your questions. I know people had questions up before when I was talking, but all of a sudden the video just broke. I have power. So there's power on my computer. It wasn't my computer. Something else happened. I don't know what it was. But since I'm talking about taxes, um, I'm suspicious of what just happened. So if you have some questions, post them. I see people joining back up. But I don't see any questions yet. So I'll keep talking about the stuff. So maybe somebody got mad because I told you guys about the Augusta rule. What I was going to say about the Augusta rules is if you live in an area that maybe has a stadium, or if you live near some kind of an event center, you can actually make really good money for at least 2 weeks. Now, if you rent your house out over the 2 week period, then you have to pay tax on all of the money that you make. So if you're Airbnb and you're doing that on a regular basis, then this won't work. But if you just take 14 days out of a year to rent your house out, you can make pretty good money. So I can think of people that live around stadiums and things like that. Now I'm going to do my daily quote before I get to the questions. The quote today comes from former Congressman Ron Paul, who intervened on my behalf when I was sick in prison. Now you can see that information on my blog site. It's on my website. And if you go to my website under About Me and then blog, I think I talk about how Ron Paul got involved when he found out that I was sick, and could be that was the reason why I got treated. Anyway, the quote is, 1913 wasn't a good year. 1913 gave us the income tax, the 16th Amendment, and the IRS. So yes, that wasn't a good year. Sad but true. Okay, so I'm going to see. Yeah, somebody's saying that they don't want me to infringe on their money, huh? Yeah. I just think it was real strange. I didn't turn off the video. I don't know what happened. Does anybody on here? Let me try to scroll down and see if I see some questions. Okay. No, I don't see any questions. If you don't have any questions, I'm gonna go find me some dinner. I was running late today. I had a busy day, and I decided to wait till after this to do dinner. So I'm gonna go find some dinner somewhere. Just think about trying to start a business. Think about trying to look up and make sure that you're saving as much money as you can for your future. For example, let's say a person has a job and they make $40,000 a year. Person A. Then person B also has a job and they make $40,000 a year. But person B, in the evening, they've started a home-based business. So let's say their first year in their home-based business, they made $5,000. What they spent, let's say $15,000 trying to get the business up and running. So person B has a $10,000 loss on their business. They have a $40,000 salary and they have a $10,000 loss on their business. Since the salary and the business are active activities, that person can write off the $10,000 and reduce their $40,000 salary. So in the end, person B is only paying tax on $40,000. I mean, on $30,000, and person A is paying tax on $40,000. Let's talk about hiring your children. If you have a business and you have children, not grandchildren, unfortunately, but children between the ages of 6 and 18, you can hire your children to work in your business and pay them up to $12,000 in the year and not have to pay any federal, state, or Social Security taxes on them. Now they have to work, and you have to give them timesheets, and they have to file W-2s and all that. But in the end, I know somebody that has 3 children, and they were jumping up and down because they're putting those 3 children to work, and those 3 children is going to get that person a $36,000 deduction from their business. So these are some of the loopholes that you guys aren't told about, and they're not going to tell you about them. Your accountant might not know. All accountants are not tax experts, and all tax attorneys are not tax experts. So let's see if I have any more questions down here. I'm glad that I'm on again. What should I do with the money that is in my 401k? Now, I can't give people advice, but I'll tell you what. I believe that we're in for another crash. I'm not the only one. I've looked at some of the financial experts that are out there, the economic experts, and they're saying we're in for another crash. So when they have that crash, the value of that 401k is going to go down. I know several people that have taken the money out of their 401ks and taken the hit. That's if you're under 60, you're going to have to pay a 10% penalty for taking it out, and then you'll have to pay maybe 20% tax on that, but at least you'll have it. I know too many people who lost too much money during 2008, too much money. So they have decided that they're going to take the money out and invest it in hard assets. And that's what I talk a lot about in my seminars. Hard assets are assets that you can hold in your hand. I don't invest in IRAs, 401ks, mutual funds, and all that because they can disappear in the blink of an eye. And then you have nothing. I know too many people that have just wasted money. And people have committed suicide when the stock market goes down, which is crazy. Depending on that. But when you have hard assets like real estate and silver and gold, I invest a lot in gold. I have some silver. I have real estate. I have international real estate, domestic real estate and international. Those are hard assets. And then once you start accumulating hard assets, then you can get a little bit more flexible and start maybe looking at some companies or some businesses that are up and coming and invest in those. It's not like you're going to invest in the stock market and shoot a buckshot and see what sticks on the wall. That's not what we want to do. We want to be strategic about the businesses that we invest in. I have some people that I know that carefully look at up and coming businesses, and then they select ones to invest in that they think are going to work well. So 401k, you can keep it if you want. A lot of the people that I know have given up on anything that has to do with the stock market, anything that has to do with corporations putting money in. By the way, you know that the pensions are broke. So if you're expecting a pension from your job, you might want to look at that twice. Let's see. Yes, there is no definition, as far as I know, of income in the Internal Revenue Code. Income is corporate profits. So it's the corporations that we're supposed to be paying the taxes. So as an example, Walmart, let's say if the Walmart down the street makes $100,000 that day, but it has salaries to pay and it has to keep the lights on and has to pay insurance and all those expenses. Let's say the expenses are $50,000. Walmart is supposed to pay tax on $50,000, the $50,000 profit. So income is corporate profit. I can't answer specific questions, but very general questions like that. The fair tax. Someone's asking about the fair tax. The way I looked at the fair tax was, and I read it, they want to put a tax on certain items. Like, let's say if it's 16% on certain items. A lot of the items that would be taxed, from what I saw, would hurt a lot of the maybe poor people. But one of the things about the tax that I saw, that it wasn't limited to the 16%. So it may have started out at 16%, and then it could go up to 20, and then it could go up to 40. So I look back at our Constitution, which is already in place, and say, okay, impost, excise, duties, and tariffs. People, countries that ship stuff over here for us to buy are supposed to be paying much more tax. And that's what's supposed to be taking care of the country. So another part of that is what the government is now doing is not what it's supposed to be doing. It really doesn't need as much money if it was doing what it was supposed to. We're not supposed to have a Department of Education. I'm supposed to be able to go down to downtown Atlanta and talk to the people that are in the capital about the education of the children. I shouldn't have to deal with the Department of Education and all of the things that they've taken. There's 17 or 18 duties that the government is supposed to be doing, and that's way out of line. The Environmental Protection Agency and all these people telling people they can't put fish in their ponds, telling people they can't take fish out of their ponds, kill an eagle or squash an eagle's egg and get fined $5,000. All that foolishness, that's not what the government's supposed to be doing. So yeah, fair tax, I would just rather go with the Constitution. What you missed is me talking about taxes and making sure that you know the loopholes. And then I got cut off. The video just shut down. It said end video. I didn't do it. I don't know who did it, but it was done. So I don't know how I'm going to put this video back together. I don't know if I can to post it later on, but I think it may come out with 3 different Facebook lives on my Facebook. I don't know. This was very strange. If you've been on your job 20 years and you want to retire, see, it all depends on the job. It depends on what you have in place, if they have a pension. If you want to, probably the thing to do would be to start a business while you're still on the job. And then when you retire, you have to decide what retirement you take out. That's kind of on a personal level, because it depends. Each company has their different retirement rules and regulations, what you can take out, when you can take it out, all those things like that. But definitely, if you're ready to retire, start working on a home-based business before you get out. I know someone that I talked to yesterday that has been working for a company 17 years, and they're about to do their 4th restructuring. And this person said that they have to reapply. Now, they've been on this job for 17 years, and they have to reapply. Obviously, they're a good employee because they've been there 17 years. So in order to stop upending your life like this, make sure you have a business on the side, at least, so that when this stuff happens, you can work your business and find another job if it has to be that way. There's a question on here concerning taxes and divorce. Now, it all hinges on how the tax returns were filed in the past. So if there's married joint, then each person is jointly, it's called joint and several liability. So if there was a joint tax return and there's a tax debt of $100,000, let's say, and spouse A and spouse B go their separate ways, well, the IRS says they have the ability to go after spouse A for $100,000 and spouse B for $100,000, whichever one they can get to. I've seen cases where maybe a husband was doing some illegal stuff and the business owed taxes and he disappeared just in the wind, and they were able to go after the wife's money for that. And the best thing that they can do is file for innocent spouse. Sometimes that works, but most of the time it doesn't, because the IRS says that you got benefit when that person was bringing in all that money that they weren't paying tax on. You got benefit from it, so that you can't file innocent spouse. It works sometimes, but most times it doesn't. Next question. Okay. Yeah, some people can leave their jobs without penalty, but yeah, you still got to pay the taxes. So be ready to bite the bullet if you take money out of your 401k. But the people that I know are ready to bite the bullet because they feel like the money, the 20% that they have to pay out of their 401k right now is far less than what's going to happen when the market crashes again. Don't forget about 2008, y'all. Yes, that's interesting how the our states take money during the year. Let's say if you had $2,000 withheld from your check for your state, and they have that money interest free all year, and then you get a refund of, let's say, $1,000. The federal wants you to pay tax on that $1,000. So, I mean, who said this system was fair? Who said nobody said it was fair? Nobody said it was right. But we have to deal with it in our own way. We really do. And so the best way to do it and stay out of jail is to go ahead and structure yourself where you're paying the least amount of taxes. Because I don't want any of you to have to go through what I went through. Okay, somebody's saying that they want to stop filing taxes. Okay. If you get a W-2, a 1099, a K-1, or any of those forms from a company, that company is giving the IRS a sworn affidavit that you received taxable income, and they are going to expect tax. So I don't think it would be wise to still be getting a W-2, a K-1, or any of those 1099s and say, I'm not paying, because there's a record of that. And then you're going to get to the point where the penalties are going to start adding up, and the interest and the penalties, and then you have this huge tax bill. It's like this, 800-pound gorilla on your back that you won't have a way to get off unless you go and get some professional help to get it surgically removed. Yes, the income tax is one of the 10 planks of communism. It definitely is. We have most of those planks in place in this country. That's a whole nother story, though, guys. What type of home-based business would I recommend? It depends on the person. It depends on your temperament. Some people are night people. Some people are morning people. When I talk to my clients, that's one of the things we go over. I ask them a series of questions to figure out what's best for them, because what's best for Johnny is not necessarily what's best for Joe. So that's a personal thing that needs to be worked out. But in general, you need a business that's very flexible, that's going to bring you money, and that's something that you enjoy, so you won't be having a drudgery type of situation at work and at home. Well, someone's asking a question about an agreement that was made. If it's in writing, then it'll probably stand. If someone's going to agree to do something or take taxes over, it'll probably stand. But you never know with the IRS. Okay. And the question from Grant, this whole thing is just a big game, scam, Ponzi scheme. Not as big as the Social Security, which is a whole nother issue. You um, all I can say about the whole thing is pay attention to where your money comes from. Pay attention to what you do with your money, and make sure that with all of the ability that you have, that you are doing your family justice by making sure that you're taking care of them and not taking care of the government and not taking care of the owners of the Federal Reserve, which you'll never have to work a day in their lives. Their children's children's children will never have to work a day in their lives. And that's where your money's going. So if you think about it that way, do you want to keep the money in your pocket, or do you want to continue to lay aside money for children that'll be born in 2032? Okay, guys, it's like 8:34 now. Don't see, yeah, here's some more questions. Is it possible to change the tax code? Congress has tried to abolish the IRS several times, and it has passed the Congress, but the Senate always stops it. So they want this system to continue. Remember, they want to continue to have your money, because without your money, they don't have any power and they can't control you. Trying to challenge the law is like a salmon swimming upstream in oil. it's because everybody's in bed together. You're not going to get a judge. You're not going to get a lawyer. You're not going to get anybody to um, side with you. Thank you. Thank you for the blessings. I need them. Anytime you have a home, it's your choice whether you put anybody on the deed. Nobody forces you to put anybody on the deed. You don't have to. If you want to put them on the deed, fine. If you don't want to put anybody on the deed, you don't have to. It's my pleasure. And I'm hungry, guys, so I'm going to go. I enjoyed these 4 sessions. It's kind of hard for me to get used to going live like this. I'm glad that I made myself do it. It's like, you don't know how to swim, but you jump into the pool. So I jumped in. I've done it before, but not on a regular basis. Now I know how to do it, and I can jump in here anytime, set it up really quickly. When some crazy stuff comes on, I'm going to come back. But I got to take care of some business for the rest of the week. And hoping that, if you guys enjoyed this, that you'll share, and also share the fact that I'm having a seminar in Atlanta on March 16th. Hope you guys can make it. Hope you tell other people about it. I want to really help people to thrive. It's my passion to see people thrive. It doesn't matter who you are. You don't need to be the underdog anymore. It's something that's been in me for a while. I've always been one of those that was really concerned about justice. I need to learn how to look at the camera and not look down there. So I'm working on it, you all. I'm working on it. I've always been interested in justice, and there's a lot of injustice going on, and it came to my front door. And as opposed to me cowering down, I had to power up, keep my focus, keep my energy, and that's what I'm going. That's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to be all the way live at this seminar. And as I stated before, if you want me to come to your city, wherever you are, you can get in touch with me. I need about 50 people in the room to make sure that the expenses are covered. And I'd enjoy coming to other cities. I enjoy travel, and I enjoy talking to other people and helping people. I enjoy it when people write me and say, hey, I took your advice and, this happened or that happened. That's what makes me happy. That's what makes me tick. So with that, guys, I'm going to go, and I'm going to try to figure out how to put all of these videos together since we got cut off by somebody. You all have a great evening. Bye-bye.